This week is coming up to the end of our trading month of August. Typically at the end of the month there is not too much news. However, this week may prove to be something different. Let's start with what is up, Rob? How you doing, my friend? Right now we're doing the Zoom call, covering the news and the analysis. This week we're covering the NASDAQ, CAD-JPY, XRP. Last week we had the BRICS Summit, which is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And they were talking about all sorts of different things, about how the US dollar is having its inevitable collapse and change, and a lot of interesting things are being said. Anyways, no news on Sunday, no news on Monday. Tuesday, though, we're starting off with JOLTS job openings and central bank consumer confidence for USD right at New York Open. It's going to be very volatile on Tuesday. There's nothing but high impact news to start the week. And that is for August 29th. Similarly, during that same time, right before New York Open, we have Mexico GDP, which is also going to cause significant volatility. So all pre-New York and New York session is going to be absolutely wild. What do I feel about the dollar falling? Let's see. Well, I would have to look at the DXY first. But as of right now, I'm unsure. I would have to look at the DXY. Yeah, I can look at that here in a moment. After we go over NASDAQ and CAD, we can definitely check out the dollar index. Let's see, Wednesday, Germany inflation rates, USD GDP. So Wednesday is going to be another very volatile, busy day. What else do we have? And we have Chinese manufacturing purchasing managers index during the start of Asia session on Wednesday as well. Tuesday and Wednesday, very volatile days, high impact news, all during New York session and Asia session. On Thursday, we have core PCE and unemployment claims for the US dollar. So every single day this week so far, aside from Sunday and Monday, New York session is going to be very volatile and have a high amount of high impact news events. Hello, welcome. If you guys want to join the Zoom call and see exactly what I'm covering here, the link is in my Telegram channel. If you're not in my Telegram channel, go ahead and join. It is free. The link is in the bio. Friday, we have CAD GDP, Canadian Gross Domestic Product, along with NFP for the US dollar on Friday, because it is September 1st, and on the first Friday of every single month, there is non-farm payroll data. So September 1st is this Friday, and we're going to have NFP on Friday. So expect some volatility. Inflation rates for the euro, and there's just multiple high impact news events all throughout the week, especially on Friday though. Yeah, this is going to be a very, very wild week. Alright, so let's start with the NASDAQ here. We have some of my technicals up from last week on here on this chart still, but that is fine. So on the right chart, we're looking at the daily time frame. On the left chart is currently the 4-hour. I'm going to delete some of these arrows that we have, and on the right side, we're going to the weekly time frame. You can see on the weekly time frame, we had a large move up into this area here, this area of supply, resistance, wherever you want to call it. We got a strong wick rejection here, lots of buyers exhaustion, meaning that the sellers got really strong right here and pushed the market very low. As you can see, we had a massive 500-point move on Thursday. Once this little area of support broke, once structure broke, there's a clean range to fill from this area here down to here as well, which it did. Next, let's go to the daily time frame. You can see a few things here. One strong bearish engulfing pattern, along with a bullish candle that created a what appears to be support / higher low point on a possible area of demand. Now we do need to update some of these technicals here. Let's move this area of demand to here as it should be. We have the previous week's low, which now this is actually the previous week's low. Yeah, right here, this is last week's low. This point. Let me adjust that. So it almost broke the previous week's low, reacted off support and demand, possible higher low point. Let's fix this This was the previous month's low until that was broken. I don't really like this here anymore. Previous week's high needs to be up here because this was the previous week's high. Let's remove the risk reward tool. Alright, so what do we see here? We can see a few things. This is truly a higher low point. There's a few things that need to happen. Let's remove this level of support, or resistance, I should say. We can see what appears to be a broken level structure right here, that a retest, lower low point, I'm sorry, lower high point to a new lower low point, something like that. However, though, based on how it reacted right here, could be starting a new trend. As such, pull back to here, continuation higher up to fill this whole entire range here, because we have a whole clear bullish range possibly if we are able to break above this little area of resistance that we're currently rejecting from. So if we take a look, you can see that lower time frame structure was broken. We are in the same area again. However, if this trend is going to continue and maintain, there are two areas that need to hold in order to create a bullish continuation move. One, we have this area of demand and this area of support at 14800 price range. As you can see here on the 2 hour time frame, this is where that wick is on the 2 hour time frame. Price is looking to possibly tap in here and possibly continue bullish on the current direction that it was trying to move on Friday. However, based on the fact that price is looking particularly bearish, it is looking interesting enough to the point to where we may just continue lower. We zoom out a tad onto the monthly time frame. You can still see where the monthly structure broke at 15150. However, we have lots of seller's exhaustion when you go to the monthly time frame. Weekly time frame buyer's exhaustion. We go to the daily time frame. This kind of looks like we're in a transitionary phase, or we're going to continue down lower. But as of right now, based on the current technicals and what I'm seeing here, we have lots of confluence. We can see structure broke right here in the 2 hour time frame. This would be the exact retest zone that you would need in order to continue with the overall bullish move. That may happen. So we could possibly see something like this. This is a really good trade set up here. Stop loss below the previous week's low. Entry point right in that area of demand and support, and take profit can be at 151 and 1525 for the overall take profit point. From the entry price, that'd be a 240 point move, and to the max take profit point, you'd be a 400 point move. Quite significant movement on the NASDAQ for this possible setup if it does play out. But primarily for the week, we are in a large range, and I am seeing a move up first. However, if the previous week's low breaks, we could see this downside range get filled. 143, 142. That is indeed still a possibility, but given how the lower time frame appears to show that structure is broken, to the bullish structure is broken, we may end up continuing higher. What's up? Welcome. Hello, Namesh. Just got done covering the NASDAQ. Yeah, it looks looking pretty good. We were able to make that higher low point on Friday, and we may have a move up to 151 and 15250 if we are able to maintain the little bullish trend it's making on the lower time frames. Looks like structure was broken. A bullish structure, or bearish structure was broken, made bullish structure, and then we may see a nice bullish move to start the week. Next, we're moving on to CAD JPY. Last week, this pair absolutely melted. It's great to see. So let's remove some of these old technicals here. Yeah, price quite literally retested that overall higher time frame trend line. Well, not a super clean test, but did end up going back into that area and create a lower high and go down. I'm just going to take it off though because it's not the cleanest technical that we need right now. On the right side I have the 12-hour time frame, and left side we have the 4-hour. Price reacted very strongly from an area of demand and a major point of structure on the higher time frame. You can see that there was a bearish trend forming when it created that double top approximately 2 weeks ago. Broke structure, made a lower high, possible lower low point last week, but we had that strong seller's exhaustion, that massive wick rejection at the 106.5 price range. Then from there, price made a bullish move. It looks like we've overall have transitioned from bearish to bullish once again, and we can see these areas of support and demand. So we have something at 107.35 price range, which is the most recent lower time frame support that price is utilizing to move bullish right now. An area of demand in this on that area of support. Next, if this area were to hold, it is in a tight little range right now, but it is looking to break out. So if it were to hold, see just a little move, possibly up to 108, 108.3. If we end up breaking that point 108.3, there's that clear range all the way up to 108.8 and possibly even 109.5 if we are able to continue bullish with this trend. If you zoom out a little bit to the daily, you can see that the trend is still completely intact. You can see that there's a short-term bearish trend, but overall it does not look like we're going to make a lower low point, as of right now at least. Even zooming out on the weekly time frame, there's some indecision. This could be the overall top. As you can see, we're still respecting this area of resistance, and it looks like a lower high on the weekly time frame. But where this blue level is and the area of demand, we could see a pullback to start the week. Just right in here, and she goes. Adjust this level right here. If that lower time frame area of support is broken, we could see move down back to 107. But as of right now, it's still looking pretty strong and looking more probable to go higher. This will line up with what I was seeing last week, although it was a short-term bearish move. Last week I was saying we may come up to the 108.25 region, and if it does break through there, there's going to be a strong bullish move up to the 109, 109.5, which is the 2022 highs. So we may see that for CAD JPY this week. A strong bullish continuation move, and we have lots of news to support these type of movements this week. Lots of high impact news every single day. Next, we're going to go over XRP. This particular pair has just been a little slow, but still in line with our long-term plan. We're still above 50 cents, which is great. 50 cents is kind of 50 cents is more the correct price for XRP. You know, it has been stuck at 50 cents for a few years. We were in that big range until we had that breakout last month, and then we came right back down to 50 cents again. So right now we're just consolidating. If we fall below once more that previous low we just made about 2 weeks ago or last week at 43 cents, so we could come down to 35 cents and possibly even 30 cents before moving higher, but this would take a few months to make that move happen. But if we go to the monthly and weekly time frames, let me remove these arrows. You can still see everything looks all right. Yeah, we have this major buyer's exhaustion right here, but we can see some seller's exhaustion right here on the monthly time frame on this area of support and structure. So based on how this monthly time frame candle closes, if it closes similarly or even a little higher next month, it could go two different ways. We either see a wick up, and if it doesn't break these highs, then it's going to continue bearish down, something like that. But if we are able to kind of wick down, find some support here once again, come back up to these highs at 70 cents. If we break above 70 cents, it's just going to create a strong bullish move up to possibly $1, which would be very nice because that's what I've been kind of seeing and waiting on. It's just, taking some time. You know, as initial hype was the SEC initial ruling, now there's really not too much news going on with XRP. So still overall in line with our long-term plan, but in the short term it's a little slow. But we still may see an upside move to 70 cents, and if 70 cents is broken, most likely going to continue up to $1. See this point right here. There's a clear range. If we get above this resistance here, there's a clear range up to 70 cents, and if it breaks through, might just make a bullish impulse move all the way up. Yeah, and lastly, we'll cover the DXY. Someone had asked for that earlier, and I haven't looked at the DXY in a while, so it'd probably be good to just pull up GU. Oh, GU looks like it's about to go down a lot. Well, it depends. This could be the overall low point, and then try to suck sellers in from right here, but she, shoots up like this before going lower. This is my pair, though. Right. DXY. Wow. A monthly candle. Very strong. Alright. Kind of have a range here. Let's look at the weekly. Okay. Something like this. It's looking very interesting. Oh yes, hello. Yep, absolutely. This is the live weekly forecast. Yep, it is looking interesting. It isn't kind of a giant range, but it is also showing kind of clear volume, but it's not the clearest. It can go either way right now, because this is the high of the range at 105.4, and where it's currently at is at an area of resistance, so it could in theory go down, but close with a strong bullish candle and not showing much weakness. So I almost feel like this could be like a smart money trap zone, to where price may exceed through this area, but it also could be an area of inducement for buyers, making them think that, okay, we're just going to push right through this point and move higher. But in reality, let me remake that arrow. I think people are seeing that, but in reality, we could have something like this. Let's see. Yeah, it's a very crucial area here, but I don't know if I would consider this a key point. Oh yeah, you can. The Zoom call's in the Telegram channel, but here, I'll just flip it so you can see what's going on. But we're at this major point of resistance at 104.2, 104 region. If I go too low, that's too much detail, so we need to stay on the 4 and 12 hour time frame. Use the line chart. Yeah, honestly, it's been a minute since I used the line chart. That's why I have it saved up here. But yeah, it's a good tactic to use. Yeah, it looks like DXY, it's just at a crucial point. I can't say for sure right here, because it can go either way. It's either going to see some strong volume up to 105.5 area, maybe even a little higher to 105.7 before either going lower, or we're just going to reject where we're at and then ultimately move lower. It's hard to say. Yeah. And this is really interesting. It's just at a crucial point, so I can't really say for sure. But there are other things I can put on here, like a minor level support here, 103.2. If this is broken, this is just going to cause the bearish move, which you can see how this red arrow is. Like, this is literally how the market works. So if that happens, we'll see a strong move, and we could even come down to right here, 101.9, 102 even. So there's this nice little range here you could get in. If this structure breaks, it's a nice momentum move From 103.2 down to 102. That wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, but that would be primarily what I would play here. Looking for the break of structure. Oh, this on the two day. But yeah, even on the daily time frame, you can see this point. If this breaks, that's what's going to cause this move to go lower. So I would really only be looking to take a trade on the DXY if 103.2 is broken, and for this setup right here. Depending where you enter and depending on how the candles are, this is the higher time frame, so it makes the risk to reward only 1 to 1, 1 to 2. But if depending where you enter and how the candles look, you're able to place a stop loss right above the high. In this case, if it looks like this, if this were to happen, candle goes down, retest like that, and then continue down lower. You could enter right here, stop loss above the high, and have a nice 2R trade just down to the first area of support. And if you wanted to go a little lower, you get maybe 2.5R out of that. So yeah, I'll be watching this just to see how this plays out, just because I don't really look at the DXY as often, and this looks kind of clean. I'm definitely interested to see how it plays out. Oh, named it DX. DXY. Alright, yeah, but that's what I got for the week. I will be posting this here shortly, along with the news and annotated charts in the Telegram channel. But yeah, overall looking forward to the week. The NASDAQ is looking good, and yeah, it's still an interesting situation as well because it could go either way, but I'm still seeing that initial bullish move on the NASDAQ. But if the previous week's low is broken, there's a clean range for 100-point move and possibly even lower. But yeah, we have an exciting week ahead of us, lots of news, and Friday's NFP. So let's get after it, and wish everyone a great week. I'm going to do my best to be active nearly every single day and call signals every single day. All my work stuff is done, and I'm ready to be on the charts and trading.